These foods contain aspirin. Eat daily to reduce the heart attacks and cancer. Let's talk about it. The use of aspirin has been shown to lower anyone's risk of having a heart attack and a stroke and even colorectal cancer. Nevertheless, it also increases someone's risk of bleeding, particularly gastrointestinal bleeding. So there is a fine balance there. What if I told you that there is a way to receive aspirin without having to worry about causing bleeding? Welcome aboard to Sugar MD channel, where I'm Dr. Ergin. I'm a board-certified internist and an endocrinologist. I am here to educate, enlighten, and entertain some viewers on all things health-related, mostly diabetes. After all, good health is just as sweet as a spoonful of sugar, right? Let me put my physician hat on now and let's get exploring. While there is a wealth of research available on the disease preventative properties of aspirin, there has been a recent uptick in the interest in the possible health benefits of salicylates that are obtained through diet. However, it is essential to keep in mind that the majority of plant products that have been shown to contain salicylic acid, which is what is in aspirin, right, or salicylates, also typically abundant sources of phenolic acids, which are very good for your body. In the past, the willow bark, for example, were used to extract components that were equivalent to aspirin, but in 1899, salicin was modified into a medication that could be patented and was given the name aspirin. In the past, gout and rheumatic fever were two of the conditions that were treated with aspirin. These days, however, aspirin is more commonly used as an anti-clotting agent to prevent heart attacks and strokes, and also a pain reliever. Every year, around 100 billion aspirin tablets are manufactured. These are millions of people who are not aware that they may be actually even allergic to salicylates. So this is primarily due to the fact that the foods in which it occurs naturally are not very comparable to aspirin. Aspirin is a chemical known as salicylate. You would never be able to link a salicylate allergy to foods like broccoli, olives, breath mints, pistachios, mushrooms, or even coffee, because none of these things have anything in common with another. Yet, they all have, you guessed it right, salicylates, which are compounds that are comparable to aspirin. So no wonder they protect you from heart disease, all those things that I just said, all the foods. So, see, if you experience an adverse reaction to any of these meals or foods, it is possible that you have an allergy to salicylates. They're great for your health. They're going to help you a lot with clotting and as an anti-clotting food or anti-cancer food, but some of you are allergic to it. There are dozens of foods, none of which are alike. They contain salicylates. There is a possibility that you'll experience headaches, asthma, wheezing, nausea, diarrhea, stomach upset, itching, rash, swelling of your hands, feet, you name it. And you may think that, Doc, you're saying that these foods are healthy for me, but I can't take them, I can't eat them. Well, maybe you need to think about you may have a salicylate or aspirin allergy. And all of these symptoms can happen at the same time, and you'll be wondering, like, what is going on? I'm not even taking any medication. Why am I having so much problems? It is possible that your lips could swell, and your throat can become itchy, unpleasant, or swollen if you have salicylate or aspirin allergy. So if you experience these symptoms, as well as the others that I talked about, you may have what we call salicylate allergy caused by the aspirin in the food you eat. Again, it's great if you don't have allergy, but if you have allergy to these foods, you're not in good luck. Now, people who are aware that they have an allergy to the aspirin, if you know it for sure, then you should still clear off the over-the-counter medications that contain aspirin as well, and some of the foods that we discussed. Some pain relievers, for example, for menstrual cycle, antacids, sometimes they have it. They may not say they have aspirin, that they may say in the label that they have salicylates or salicylic acid or stuff like that. They all mean the same thing. It's all derivatives of aspirin. Some cold and flu stuff that you buy may have aspirin or derivatives in there. Some teething gel for your babies, remedies for toothaches may have it. Even though you have an allergy to aspirin, though sometimes, some people have no problem with these foods. So you may say that, look, I have an allergy to aspirin, but I can tolerate these foods. That's also possible. So I'm not saying that if you have aspirin allergy, entirely eliminate those foods. Just pay attention to see if you have similar problems with those foods if you have allergy to salicylates or aspirin. There's also a subgroup of people, which may include you, who consume foods, but again, they experience pain without understanding why. And finally, some of you could see the benefits of aspirin, but you choose to get your salicylates from natural sources rather than using a pharmaceutical, because sometimes pharmaceuticals are so strong that may give you side effects, versus foods may not do that. So again, let's talk about the foods that are rich in salicylates, which will be of use to each of you in a different way, depending on which category you belong to. In our discussion today we made, if you don't have any allergies or anything like that, natural aspirin can be found in the following foods. So I'll talk to you right now. But also it's important to note that fruits and vegetables contain more salicylates when they're not fully ripe. So think about that. So if you're eating things that are fully ripe, they may use some of their salicylates. Now, apples, for example, apricots, avocados, blackberries, blueberries, broccoli, cantaloupe, cauliflower, cherries, chili peppers, cucumbers, currants, dates, dried herbs and spices. We'll talk about more on that later. But eggplant, figs, grapefruit, grapes, green peppers, guava, kiwi, licorice, red chili powder, paprika, and turmeric. They contain a lot of salicylates. But cumin is about 1% aspirin by weight. Interesting fact, right? Eating a teaspoon of cumin is like taking a baby aspirin. Because salicylic acid is a defensive hormone that actually plants produce, the content of it is increased when plants also get stressed. What does it mean? Such as when they're attacked by bugs, right? So unlike the pesticide-laden plants. And the point of fact here is that it was shown that, for example, the soups or anything like that that are prepared with organic veggies, they contained, when they looked into them, roughly 6 times more salicylic acid than the soups or foods created using the same things that are traditionally cultivated with all the pesticides. Although the same thing is true for coffee, for example. The organic coffee will give you so much more benefit compared to coffee that is produced in a non-organic way. So, of course, we should always go for the whole foods, if possible, organic foods. White bread has only 8 phytochemicals, but whole grain breads, which are rich in salicylic acid, contain around 1,000 times as many phytochemicals compared to white bread. So you figure. Some of you, again, we talked about this, could be allergic to aspirin, but in reality, it is extremely beneficial. They are commonly found in whole foods. So the natural plant actually was used to make aspirin, right? It had an acetyl group bonded to it in order to make it to a medication. So when they make a medication out of a natural thing, they always have to modify it in one way or the other to increase its efficacy or potency, etc. This acetyl group gives aspirin its characteristic, the acetyl molecule on the chemical. Now, naturally occurring salicylates are actually missing that acetyl group, which is the component that is typically responsible for causing the reaction. So the aspirin may actually itself as a medicine may cause more reaction, more allergies in you than the foods. So I would say increase those foods in your diet today. Make sure that you're not allergic to those foods because of the salicylate component in them. And if you're not, you're going to do yourself a big favor to reduce the risk of heart attacks and cancers. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far, and I hope you subscribed already. If you didn't, do it. And if you did, watch this video right there. I think that will help you too.